the son of an alcoholic and the father of an addict, and his name is Mark. Our journey with addiction started 22 years ago. The first 12 years of my life with my son was absolutely wonderful, I have to say. I was a single dad like for the first year, first couple of years, and then we were blessed to meet Denise, and she married us both and adopted Mark when he was about 7. But the first 12 years were really awesome because there was school and sports and church, and everything was going exactly the way we wanted it to go. And then at age 13, it's like a switch was thrown and all hell broke loose in my house. It was, you know, he went from this loving, beautiful boy who was participating in everything to a kid that was doing a lot of drugs and bringing it into the house. He became angry when I tried to correct that behavior and started putting holes in the walls, stealing from us. So those are the things that happened, and I said, stop that, right? Don't do that. Because my way of parenting, those first 12 years worked out great, right? And then all of a sudden the things that I was doing as a parent didn't work. He dropped out of sports, he dropped out of class, and he just made it very clear that nothing that I was going to do was going to affect him, and that he wasn't going to listen. You know, it was the most humbling and frankly scary thing that we've ever been through. And that's what's interesting about and damaging about this disease. It's not just the individual that gets sick with addiction; it's the entire family. It was funny. I brought my son to this therapist, and I said, "Here, go fix him. I got to go and work." Right? And he said, "Well, you may need some fixing too, Steve." And then he asked me about my relationships and asked me about work, and I realized that I really was sick. When nothing I did as a dad worked, I ended up pressing charges against him. Very unusual, maybe an unpopular thing back then, but my rationale was very simple. I didn't want to lose him. And if I couldn't affect change, I figured, let me find somebody or something that can. So by using the legal system, I asked the judge simply to structure my son, put him on probation, order him, judge, to do the very therapeutic things that everybody around me is telling me he needs to do. And I said, Judge, what will you do if he doesn't comply? She said, well, I'll put him in jail. She said, Mr. Willis, you want him to go to jail? I said, not for a moment, Judge. But I want him to live, and I need help. And she did that. And he was ordered to go to a treatment program at that point, and he did very well as long as he was in the residential program. The day he got out, of course, he used. He wasn't ready to change. But with the help of the legal system with my son, he was starting to get healthier. He was experiencing what therapy can do. And he didn't like the consequence, that is, jail or something, if he didn't do it. So I knew that that system can work well. And he kept saying, I got this, Dad, I can do this myself. And it broke my heart, I have to say, because nobody can recover alone. And he overdosed 4 times that I know of. I went to the hospital, and there was yet another woman carrying yet another child of his. I have 8 grandchildren now from him. And he survived those overdoses, and then about 5.5 years ago, he hung himself. He was living up in Newark, and presented, according to the doctors, like he was out of oxygen for 10 minutes. And so, you know, clinically dead on the table with machines. And they said to me, if he survives the day, he'll be severely diminished. Well, my prayer, of course, was that, Lord, he's already diminished. Please make him whole or take him home. The doctors took the machines off after 48 hours, and you know what? He woke up. He survived that too. I said, you are apparently hard to kill, right? How many experiences, Mark, do you need before you say enough is enough? And that's what everybody needs to get to. That's the place people need to get to recover. Whether it's individuals or family members too. We need to get sick and tired of being sick. And that got his attention, but still wouldn't go to meetings, still wouldn't go to therapy. I got this, Dad. He developed a seizure disorder from too much drinking and drugging, and didn't take the seizure medicine regularly. So 3.5 years ago, September, he was fishing on a beautiful riverbank in McKinney, Texas, and had a massive seizure and rolled into the water, and he drowned. And that's how I lost him. You know, the worst thing it can be is that you lose a child, but then we still have a choice as parents. What do we do with that experience? And my choice and Ron's choice and Arvo's choice is to serve the community, to teach what we know, to share the experience as parents, experience that works, to help family members understand that they're affected too, and that we all need to get well, and that the sooner we get well, the greater chance we give our loved one who's sick to get well too. That when all segments of the community, between law enforcement, the medical community, the business community, clergy, education, when everybody starts talking together and understanding what does work, we stand a better chance of helping the entire community. I'd like everybody to get brave. Let's talk. Let's share the pain that's in our families. Let's share the uncertainties, the concerns. Secrets, as the rooms will say, keep us sick. They do. So when we talk about it, when we share things, when we ask for help, when we don't worry about stigma, when we don't worry about embarrassment, when we stand up and say, I need help, the help is there, I promise. The hope and the love and educated plan is there for them. And you know, in our wish, our goal each day is to share that with them. This is Mark. He was, well, he died when he was 31. He would be 35 almost now. So this is shortly before he died. I like the picture particularly because it just shows that smile. It shows some joy. He struggled really all of his life. He was one of those blessed souls who just, it seems, never felt normal when he was sober. And as much work as we put in, we never could fix him. Each day I get to lift Mark up and celebrate his life by sharing it.